Hey, welcome to another Measure Kool-Aid report. Definitely want to talk about this one because I mentioned this before about the penalties. And obviously we had a lot of penalties. Early, I was like, they whooping us with the flags. But as the game went on, we got a problem. The, the old saying, Houston, yeah, we got a problem. So I'm gonna talk about it, but what I want to do is I want to measure the Kool-Aid. I want to be very balanced on what's going on and what I see going on, and more importantly, the way to fix it. So I'm gonna be frank. The way that you fix penalties, the way that you see it, is fear. It's fear. I spoke about this in one of my videos where I talked about cohesive power. Cohesive power is where management or leaders have the ability to punish. Without the ability to punish anybody in management, you don't get optimized change in the people that follow you. So you have to have the empowerment to punish. So don't just listen to me. Let's listen to the playmaker.
Michael, please help us with penalties. We cannot get an answer. Is it on the coaches? Is it on the players? Is it on
the coaches, man? It's on the coaches.
All right, how did Jimmy coach penalties?
With fear. That's what he did. With fear. You got enough of them, your butt is gone. That's what you do. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Hey, man, you get enough of this, we're going to make a change. You do this enough, we're going to make a change. Fear is what has to drive it. And I know it's harder now with contracts because everybody, my contract's what it is. You gave me this much guarantee. But most of the guys that earn that kind of money, those are not the guys you really got to worry about just making blatant mistakes. And sometimes it's the guys that don't earn that kind of money. So the fear factor must be implemented. We got to be scared to make it. You don't see Bill Belichick now making those kinds of penalties because they know Bill Belichick ain't with that. Either Bill going to get you out of here and Jimmy would get you out of Dallas and go so far as to try to make sure he affected where you were going. Don't you put penalties on my team. That's just the reality of it, man. 14 penalties, man. In a game like that. I'm so happy. I love Randy Gregory, man. Well, and I understand the frustration, but what the hell are you doing grabbing that dude and throwing him down right there? That was a crucial penalty. And that's what even that, though, I understand we're going to have penalties. And I understand aggressive penalties. I want to come back. Oh man, I want to come back and block this dude, and I catch him on the blind side, and they call that unnecessary roughness. That's okay. I ain't worried about that. That's aggressive. I was trying to send a message. I know you never. But Randy Gregory tackling somebody, that's just ignorance. That's stupidity. That's undisciplined, and that's losing. And it's the timing of them.
Yes.
It's not just that it's 14 penalties. It's when did you make those 14 penalties at crucial moments that cost the game? And I'm mad at CD for catching one back, but they had another 30-yarder in there that got called back. They had a couple plays that got called back, but still, man, it was just. And then I got to sit on that damn show with Stephen A.
So as you can see, the playmaker talked about this, and he talked about it from the history of Jimmy Johnson. So I lived through those days. I saw the Super Bowls live, right? I went to the parades because this is my city, okay? I'm from Dallas, Texas, born and raised in Parkland. So, and that's the truth. That I'm from Dallas. So one of the key examples that show you the amount of power and fear that Jimmy Johnson had over that team, and this is a Super Bowl team, is remember when Leon Lett was running for that touchdown and Don Beebe ran them down and stripped the ball? Most people don't know, but historically, Leon Lett was scared to come out the showers. This is after they won the Super Bowl. He was scared to come out the showers because he thought Jimmy was going to fire him. This is after a blowout win. And we talking about Big Cat. Some people don't know the history on Leon Lett. Say Leon Lett was David Irvin with no issues. Put it like that. People that remember Big Cat was a dog. Excuse me, I get excited thinking about that boy. But somebody that cold feared the hell out of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy had real cohesive power that he developed. Now, how did he develop it? See, Jimmy wasn't afraid to make examples out of players, especially your weaker players. So I also brought this up in one of my favorite shows called Bar Rescue. I talk about this all the time. And this is where Mr. Taft, he goes in and he rescues struggling bars. And a lot of times these are businesses with potential, but what messes them up is the culture and the discipline of the leadership. So he comes in, he brings a team, he trains the staff, he do all kind of stuff, but the first thing he does is he shakes up the culture. And this is what he said. I'm gonna say it again, I said it before. One of the main things he does is he first look for the weakest link. And when he find that weak link that don't have no real value to the restaurant, he fires them openly to instill fear in the people that actually have potential to be at their best. Because he first got to get the cohesive power in order to get them to turn around. So y'all should start seeing where I'm coming from with these penalties on the cohesive power. So the question would be, who would that be? Who would that be? I'm not going to name any names, but I'm going to say this going back to Jimmy Johnson. Aikman also said this when Barry Switzer took over. He said one of the main things that left the team when they lost Jimmy was respect, because Jimmy was the enforcer. He was the one that was the bad guy, which then allowed Aikman to be the good guy. So they had a good cop, bad cop thing going on when it came down to motivating the team. Jimmy would come down on him and Aikman would put his arm around him and be like, hey man, listen bro, listen, all he wants you to do is make a few more plays, bro. You did drop that ball. At the end of the day, he right. If you make that play, Jimmy ain't gonna be threatening you like that. That was Aikman's role. So he lost that when he lost Jimmy. So he ended up being good cop and bad cop. And that's why he was complaining openly about Barry Switzer. So that's the power of having enforcers. So, and that's important to even recall that history when you're trying to talk about how to fix us now, because it's like, again, who is the person they're going to make an example out of? So one of the things Aikman also said when he was recalling the history of transitioning to championship coach Jimmy Johnson to championship coach Barry Switzer, one of the things that he said was, Barry came to him and he said, Aikman, come on, man, we can't fire our best guys. He said, no, you can't. But you can fire that guy, and that guy, the stragglers. Going back to what I said on Bar Rescue, who are the people that you make examples out of? It's sad, but it's real business. Who are the stragglers? Who are the people that's not taking it serious, that you openly and publicly embarrass for not taking the opportunity serious of being in the professional football league, so that you can get these guys to understand that I can punish you. You can be next. So when you listen to the playmaker and he say, they didn't have fear. There's no fear. So where's the fear? So let's talk about some ideas. Just quick ideas. Just quick, nothing too long, quick stuff. So I would hope that Will McClay, Stephen Jones, Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, the main staff guys, Jerry Jones, Stephen, all of them lay out the bottom. In my opinion, lay out the bottom. Because this strategy works. It worked with Jimmy. It works with a successful entrepreneur that's also a person that turn around bars. It works. So lay out the bottom. Like, name those guys. Like, these are the guys that they get on my last nerve. Or they got talent, but they're in a deep room. Name the 6 or 7 guys that basically you looking for them to sneeze wrong. The moment they sneeze wrong, I say act a fool. That's what Jimmy used to do, just keeping it real. And I'm not trying to go back to the days of Jimmy Johnson. I'm just trying to go back to what works, dog. That's it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, act a fool, because everybody remember the asthma comment that happened to Jimmy, where one of the players was like, I got asthma. And he was like, man, go over to the asthma field in, man. You can't be having no asthma out here. I mean, Jimmy was an a-hole. But when you dealing with all those alphas, he had to be. That's why that team was a dynasty, because they didn't get complacent with his type of leadership. He exercised with no problem cohesive power. So lay out the bottom, lay out the dudes that, hey, they are not as important as these guys. Just like Aikman said, yeah, don't go after this guy, one of your better players. Go after those bottom guys, but make major examples out of them, especially because you know you're getting ready to make cuts anyway. So it's one of those things, if you're trying to change the influence, you got to do that. This is the last thing I'm going to say. And this is the good news. Just like Bar Rescue, hear me out. Just like Bar Rescue, one of the key things that I love about this show is after they get those guys trained, they do what's called a stress test. So what he'll do is he'll do a massive mailing, and he'll invite a lot of people out and say, hey, we're going to be offering drink specials and all that kind of stuff. And he'll pack it. This is after you are initially trained by Taft's staff. That's the guy's name, Taft. So he'll bring in a staff that'll train the staff. He'll bring in his professionals to train you how to make the drinks, make the food, do it right, have a system. He train all that. But then what happens is he then test them. He'll open it up and he'll turn the bar on full capacity with this massive marketing campaign. And he'll watch and see how they handle it. And then after they go through that, he then coaches them up for the final, basically what you can say, real test, where that's where they really reopen the restaurant. What am I saying? Preseason is the stress test. So it's a panic on this. That's what's going on. It's a panic. It's true that what we just saw is Michael Irvin was talking about how we ended the season, and what he was talking about in that clip was from us versus the San Francisco 49ers when we was undisciplined. What just happened? We went into the preseason and was undisciplined, which says this: we are what we were with San Fran. That was our stress test. Now the first preseason game is where you get to coach them up. After they coached up, now you should be able to open up the restaurant versus Tampa, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So this is honestly not the time to panic. What we saw preseason 1 is this team is undisciplined, as it was when we lost to San Fran. It only means they needed to be trained. You stress test them. You saw where they were. Now let's coach them up. Let's get some cohesive power and some fear in here, and let's turn this thing around. But that's my Measure Kool-Aid report with Boss Cowboy Sports. I want to kind of give y'all my perspective on why I feel like everything has a chance to be okay. I'm actually very happy that they had a bunch of penalties preseason 1, because guess what? Now you know what to put all your energy on. So hey man, let's sit back and enjoy this, man. It's gonna be a good season, man. Don't let nobody steal your joy about what the Cowboys are capable of, because I think we finna rock, man. I honestly do. It's gonna be more so likely what we do when we get in the playoffs. But man, this process, just because we lost to San Fran, I ain't finna lose no sleep. I'm sorry, man. I'm finna enjoy this whole season. I'm gonna enjoy this 10 to 13 or 14 wins that's just getting ready to happen. So let's just sit back, man. It's gonna happen, man. Just sit back. Let's relax. It's gonna be good. We needed what happened, but y'all stay up. This Boss Cowboy Sports with your voice matter. Peace.